This conference will now be recorded.
All right, guys. So as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So what I wanted to do, I want to go over AMRN because I saw some confusion going on this morning, and they're really just, I mean, not, I could see why it happened, but there really shouldn't have been. So I kind of want to explain what happened. So first of all, we open up and we get great bid prints at 20. Okay, so that's where we start off on. So what that tells us is the market maker is now looking for this stock to go down. I want you to understand something though. So we know it needs to break 20. Okay, there's no question about that based off not only the selling that we've had up above it if we come over here on the daily chart, but on the fact that it showed us that there's somebody that's going to actually have to make their money coming down from that 20 point. But what that tells us, number one, is let's talk about adding percentages to it. So percentage wise, guys, for a pull-up trade on this, is 20 an easy level to break or a hard level? When we look at 20, easy level to break and hold or hard? Yeah, it's going to be tough. I don't know if anyone ever remembers or anyone's even still looking at work, guys, but we're still waiting for it to break 20. And it has all the selling in the world to do it, and eventually it will, but 20 is not an easy level to break, and we can compare those. All right, so AMRN, we start coming up on our pull-up from those 20 prints. What did we see? So we saw a huge amount of buying coming in around that 2050. So what that tells us, okay, right there is the dominant market maker came in first. It was first to the table, and we know that the overall movement is going to be looking for the downside. But after that pull-up, when we start to see great bursts of buying coming in on a pull-up, what does that tell us about the pull-up? It's that simple. What does it tell us about the pull-up? That we have to immediately realize based off of what we have. It's going to be big, extended, large, whatever the case may be. So what ends up happening in a case like this is we know eventually the stock needs to come back underneath 20. Okay, but are riders going to stop as long as the stock needs to continue to pull up? And obviously the answer is no. So if we continuously come in, really at the end of the day, it's almost like if we're looking for a long trade, okay, and we're looking for new buying, we are the same thing looking for the stock to end up coming short is going to be looking for a lack of buying. So we don't want new buying coming down. We want no buying, and we want to see selling start coming in. But all we continue to see was buying. So in a stock like AMRN, beautiful buying that comes in at 250, how much can we expect? How much can we expect for the stock to move after that buying? How much does that person need to make in a stock like AMRN? Okay, on average, trades 96 cents. You can't really use that right now, but yes, 50 cents, right? So we know that it's got to be at least another 50 cents coming up. So as we're continuing, we need to see, is that new buying coming in? Because remember, that guy that came in at 20, okay, right away, it was a big amount, and it's going to have a big pull up. So right now we can, if we just look at it, look at this buying that just came in at 21.40, guys. Is 21.50 going to be the number that shows us that this stock is going to be short? Will 21.50 be the number to look for a trigger to now take this stock short? Will that be the number? Nope, absolutely not. Why not? Why will 21.50 not be the number? We still have buying. It's that simple. Okay, we have shorter term buying that continues to keep coming in at its highs. We need to see this stop. If it doesn't stop, we're going to end up, we're still going to pull back from it, but we're going to end up seeing this stock go up to 21.50, and then from that information, we'll kind of take it from there. But this trade literally became a long based off of the fact that we know we need a pull up, and then the buying just never stops. When you see that, first of all, if you're looking for the short to go towards the prints, I'm not blaming you at all. Okay, but at the same time, you have to understand that if you keep seeing new buying coming in, it's not going to be that time period yet. So you're going to end up waiting all day when the stock is just going to keep continuing up on a beautiful uptrend for the entire day. So these are things that we need to realize. On top of the fact, the pull-up trade, even if it's only for 50 cents, in the first place, and we don't get that buying, was such a beautiful high probability trade because of the fact that 20 is very, very hard to be able to break. And great off-level buying after that, that's 100%. And as we know, that off-level buying is going to be shorter term, and that's exactly what happened. So it actually became a very high probability long trade, even though the original bids came from that 20. We have to pay attention to the money flow as a stock is moving. So the 20 told us what they're going to build. Okay, where they're building a short position. The stock needs to break underneath 20, but those riders coming in afterwards are going to tell us what's going to happen right now. All right, so if we're not paying attention to that type of stuff, guys, it's going to be a hard day, or really not even a hard day, because all that's going to happen is, number one, you're going to watch the stock go up all day, and then number two, you're going to get caught trying to take triggers that aren't actually triggers, because on a pull-up, if there's still continued new buying, that doesn't, a trigger towards the downside is not what's going to get us underneath the main market maker, that dominant first market maker's position at that 20. All right, so obviously AMRN, we will continue to watch. It's in a little bit of a flag right now. It's going to be a hard trade, though, to really take anything here. All right, so I got two other things that I'm going to be looking at. So CBIO, as I told you guys, to watch it before we started our meeting, pretty much got up to that 7, which that's where we were really going to be looking. But there is some real nice buying that I was looking at before. That came in over like 705, 7. Let's see, it's not going to let me go down over here. Let's go to the other screen. But yeah, so like 696 was another really nice buying burst that we saw coming into there. 7 didn't have as much as I would have liked to see, but there definitely was some that came back in there. So I'm still going to be watching this, for at least for us to be able to get back up to that double top, act as a magnet. So is it a huge trade? No, but 20-cent trade on a $7 stock, we kind of got to, deal with what we're working, what we have to work with out there. And then CAG. So CAG, the reason I really like this stock is, number one, it's volume, but number two, it just trades so smoothly. It's not a huge mover. I mean, today, don't get me wrong, it moved $3.65, but overall, it is not a huge mover. Just be careful because, especially coming into the afternoon, a lot of times you see these stocks after they make that nice move, they just kind of sit there in that consolidation and end up floating around. So overall, it's a very smooth. 34 got a bunch more mix than I would have liked to see before we started our meeting. It actually only had the bid prints at 34. But so it's pulling up a little bit from there, but there's still some room towards that downside in here. And I'm not looking for anything huge. 50 cents is really the major price target I would have with this trading today, and on any type of prints that you do see coming in there. All right, guys, and other than that, things are slow. Things are going to be very slow, okay? We're not going to see, you could see a huge influx of things, but I don't, like I said, I don't look at anything out there right now and really get that excited, except PCG, because PCG just got added to our list. All right, so look at PCG. Obviously, big volume coming in. Huge selling, started off with selling at that 11. We know we have selling from there previously as well, so we're going to add this one to our list as well. So overall, beautiful selling. Let's get a nice pull up from that, and then you can see right here, those 1098 prints, though, tell us that it should be pretty short term for that pull up before we end up seeing this come back down and then make their money. Something I want you guys to realize, too, is when you see these prints these aren't ballsy prints by any means because it's in a downtrend. Ballsy prints would be like 1101, 1102, not 1098, but I want you to see, so when you see something like this, that's someone that anticipates that the stock is going to be moving quickly. So what ends up happening is that once the person gets in, we see this little move, but they got in because it's time for an actual trade. When you see these type of prints, that's kind of the mindset you have to have. Obviously, there needs to be a lot of them because otherwise one print at 1098 is not going to do anything, but that's just following the rules for everything else. Can't wait for the level. So it's not that they can't wait for the level, it's that it's breaking down below there. So when it's breaking down below, so back when there used to be great volume, and we're talking about going back to the beginning times when I used to trade, okay, you didn't wait for pull-ups and pull-downs for the most part because there was a lot of trading volume. What you'd look for was some great selling, either if you're looking to short below the level, like those exact prints, and then just wait for the follow-through. On the follow-through is when you get in a trade. Obviously, it doesn't work that way anymore because of the fact that it's just lower volume that's being traded out there. But typically when you see somebody come in like that, like I said, it's not the amount of the pullback. It doesn't mean it doesn't need to pull back the same amount it would need to on regular prints. What it means is that after the pullback, it's quick. So we shouldn't see a pullback for 2 days on something like this. At the same time, if it stops trading, then it kind of gets screwed because we were coming into the afternoon. But hopefully that made sense. All right, guys. Can I post this on YouTube? Of course I can. I'll do it as soon as it gets converted. When we finish, I'll put it up for you. All right, guys. Any other questions? Any questions at all? All right, so let's get ready for this invigorating afternoon. Make sure you go get your Red Bulls, your coffee, or whatever you need to keep your eyes open. If you have a cactus on your desk, make sure you don't fall asleep and hit your face on it. But other than that, guys, I'll talk to everyone in the chat. Happy trading.